right, another fantastic report. You got that clip ready. Fantastic clip. I want to thank you. You amaze me. You got that great clip. I couldn't have picked a better clip. That's a fantastic clip. We're kind of spoiling our audience. Well, it's kind of good. We can't let them just, listen to me yap all the time. We need to give them a good clip, kind of as a treat, and to get them inspired in the films. All right, let's do it. Good afternoon. I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500 here in Vero Beach, Florida. Beautiful Vero Beach. Now, today's topic is the film Smokey and the Bandit. Before we get on to Smokey and the Bandit, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take a second, folks, and just go ba-bing. Doesn't cost you a thing. It really helps us out. We appreciate you. Thank you for that subscribe, and thank you to all our loyal subscribers. Now, without further ado, let's get to Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit was released in 1977, directed by Hal Needham, starring Burt Reynolds, Sally Fields, and Jerry Reed. Yeah, have you noticed that in the 70s there's a lot of great films? I guess I was kind of spoiled as a kid growing up because I grew up during the 70s. And there's a lot of great movies, and I've been doing a lot of topics on these films. Not really intentional, it just kind of worked out that way. Well, it goes to show you what great stories we had back then and great filmmaking. We need to get back to those type of stories. And that's one of the great things about Smokey and the Bandit. It's kind of a feel-good movie, It's kind of like you just get behind the characters and enjoy this movie. It's a fun movie, kind of funny, and it's a fun film. Well, the basic story is Burt Reynolds plays the bandit, and he's been hired to take a tractor trailer full of beer across state lines. And it's illegal back then. It's very illegal. And there's a local sheriff, played by Jackie Gleason, who's out to get him. And this sheriff is determined to bust the bandit. He wants to get the bandit. And we got a great clip. You can thank Marvin for it. He picked out a fantastic clip. Are you ready for this, folks? You ready? Are you ready, Marvin? You're always ready. All right, Marvin. Roll the clip.
I think it'd be a good idea if we change places, don't you?
Yeah.
You kind of be a passenger for a while now?
Yeah.
Up. Now just kind of slide right.
Oh, you got my hair.
It's all right. Just slide right in
Oh,
it.
I don't know. Wait.
I got it.
Wait.
I got it.
Wait. No.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
All right, hold it.
Okay.
Stuck here.
Wait.
This is not working.
I got my foot.
No, come on. It's not. God damn it. I saw him do it in movies.
Oh.
Oh, my God. You're going to be talking out of your ass. Daddy, the top came off. No shit.
Oh, you're back. What do you think about that clip? Woo! Was that a wild chase scene or what? And they really did that scene with that car being taken off like it did. Thank God those guys knew when to duck. They would have just lost the roof of the car. They would have lost their heads too. What a great, great chase scene. Now, in the film, they used a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am. Pontiac lent them, in the course of the film, 4 Trans Ams. 3 of them they totally destroyed between all the jumps and the stunts and everything they were doing with those beautiful cars. And the 4th one came back pretty messed up also. And Burt Reynolds had a close friend, Gene Kelly, who ended up starting a Bandit car collection, which he runs in Palomento, Florida. And he goes around with this iconic Trans Am to different events, car shows to this day. And of course, it's always associated with Burt Reynolds. Now, Burt Reynolds also had an agreement with the senior executive at Pontiac that if this film became a huge hit and did well, and their sales did well, that he would get a brand new Pontiac Trans Am. Pretty good agreement, don't you think? Well, what happened was the film became a huge, huge success, and Burt Reynolds was a huge star. So the Pontiac sales skyrocketed. They went through the roof. They were doing fantastic. So a couple months after the film was released, Burt Reynolds goes down to Pontiac to get his new Trans Am. I would too. I remember that car. I loved that car. I couldn't afford it, but I'd go get my Trans Am too. Well, he went down there, and Pontiac would not give him a Trans Am. You see, what happened was the guy he had the agreement with, the senior executive, well, he retired. And they had nothing in writing, and Pontiac wouldn't honor it. Now, back then, in the 70s, we had a thing which maybe is still said today, not too often, be a man of your word. I live by that. I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it, folks. You know, I stand behind my word. And we used to be that way back then. We didn't always have everything in writing, but we've kind of gotten away from that. Now you got to have things in writing. Well, Burt didn't have it in writing. He should have had it written, stamped, dated, signed, went down to Pontiac and said, here, I want to get my new Trans Am, and he would have got his car. But Pontiac, they kind of dropped the ball, because what they should have done was they should have called the senior executive who's retired and said, you have this agreement with Mr. Reynolds. And if he said yes, they should have honored it. They should have said, you know what? We appreciate what you've done in the film. You did a great job with the film, Mr. Reynolds. You know, it was a great success, great film. Our sales have gone through the roof. We can't thank you enough. What color Trans Am would you like? And here are the keys. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. That's what they should have done. But they didn't, and Burt Reynolds left without that Pontiac Trans Am. Now, Jerry Reed does a song called Eastbound and Down in the film, and he was asked to come up with a song by Hal Needham and said something good that would be right for this film. Well, he came up with that song, started to play it for him, and Hal Needham stopped him and said, stop right there. And he was like, well, you don't like the song? I can write another song. He says, oh, no, don't you change a note. I want that song. I love that song. We're using that song. And it became a great success in the film, and it was one of Jerry Reed's top 3 big hits. Now, what about Jackie Gleason, who played the sheriff? He's quite the character. Well, I got a couple little stories on Jackie Gleason. You see, that whole scene in the diner where Jackie Gleason comes in, not knowing the bandit sitting right there at the counter in the diner, that's the guy he's after. But the bandit knows that's the sheriff that's after me. Jackie Gleason suggested this. They kind of ad-libbed the whole scene, and they put it in the film. It wasn't part of the script. And it's a great scene. I think it's a funny scene, and it's just a great scene. And they used it. And Jackie Gleason also used to like to have a lot of hamburgers. And you may be thinking, hamburgers? Is that why he's so heavy? He's eating all those hamburgers? No. You see, hamburger was code word for vodka. So when he wanted to have a vodka, he'd tell his assistant, could I have another hamburger? Could you give me a hamburger? Could you see if there's any hamburgers around? I could really use a hamburger about now. Apparently he loved his hamburgers. Well, it also probably relaxed him and made him easy on camera, and it was good for the film. You can see it's a fun-loving, fun film, and everybody had a good time making this film, and it shows up on camera. Now, we've got a special thing for you. Smokey and the Bandit quotes. I'm only going to give you, I think, 4 of them. So you know what that means. I'm going to have to put Marvin back to work, and Marvin's doing such a great job. Smokey and the Bandit quotes. You know what I'm going to ask for, Marvin? Drum roll, please. Thank you, Marvin. All right, let's get the Smokey and the Bandit quotes. The sheriff says, Sheriff Buford T. Justice, played by Jackie Gleason, he says, what we're dealing with is a complete lack of respect for the law. Well, isn't that a criminal for you? No respect for the law. And the cafe scene I was just mentioning to you, I thought this was great. When he comes in, and the bandit's right there, and he's trying to order whatever he's doing, the bandit looks at the sheriff and he says, you chasing someone, Sheriff? Or is someone chasing you? And Jackie Gleason looks at the bandit and says, no one's chasing me, boy. That was pretty good. All ad-libbed. And the bandit's talking to the snowman and he says, what do you think they do for excitement in this town? And the snowman says, probably sit around and watch the cars rust. I thought that was good. And our last quote. The snowman, Jerry Reed, asked the bandit, what are we doing this stuff for, Bandit? And Bandit says, for the money, for the love of America, for the glory, but mostly for the money. I thought that was great. It's a great film. You can see it on Netflix, Amazon, a few other places. Always a fun film to watch and relax, get into the characters, and then just enjoy this film. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this report and the look back on Smokey and the Bandit. And from Marvin, my staff, myself, I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500. Have a great day.